This video is to help you with your chromatic scale. The first place you're going to go to help you with this is your Rhythm Master book. If you do not have your Rhythm Master book, you can do your note flight assignment 7 and follow along with that. In all of your books, at the beginning of your book is a fingering chart. So we're going to use this to help us with our chromatic scale. So if you can have this with you and be following along, this is going to help you tremendously with your scale. So when I play the chromatic scale on the piano, I'm not going to skip any notes. I'm going to go from black to white, or if there's two white ones together, I'm going to go from white to white. I do not skip any notes. So this is what it looks like on the piano. If I start on B, this is B flat. So I'm not skipping any notes. So I'm going from black to white without missing any. And that's our chromatic scale. It's made of 13 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's my 13 notes. On your instrument, you can't see these notes. You're playing them, but you're not able to see them like you can on the piano. So sometimes it's a little easier to see it on the piano. But you can play, you're playing these exact same notes on your instrument. Some of you may be wondering why there's two notes and they sound the same and they're both in the same measure in our fingering chart. So let me show you what those are on the piano. Okay, they're called inharmonic notes. They're notes that have the same name, different name, but have the same sound. So I'm going to show you this using a percussion fingering chart. Okay. So if you notice, all of the notes down here in the bottom, it's going to be the same with my piano in just a minute. All of these notes are natural notes. Okay, these are the notes from our musical alphabet. Remember, we have 7 notes in our musical alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and they repeat. So if I go all the way down here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then I could keep going if my keyboard was long enough. And if I'm going down my keyboard and getting lower, I would go backwards in my alphabet. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, and then the next one would be F. So if you're playing the piano, you're going to have more note options. Up here are our sharps and flats. Okay? So when we put a sharp on a note, we're raising the pitch half a step. So let's go to a C. So I have a C. If I want to play a C sharp, I'm going to go up a half step to C sharp. If I'm on D and I want to make it sharp, I go up to D and it's a half step. So these notes up here are sharps and flats. Now, if I want to put a flat, that means I'm going to lower the note by half a step. So let's start on our E. If I want an E flat, I'm going to go down a half step. D, down a half step. Now they have the same note on them because they are the same note. They just have two names. Like you have a first name and you might have a middle name. You're the same person, but you have two different names. So this note on the piano or the keyboard on your instrument can be called a D flat or a C sharp. Now composers, they have two choices. When they're writing music, they can write it as a D flat or they can write it as a C sharp, but they're the same note. On your instrument, they will be the same note. So when you look in your fingering chart, you're going to see these two notes in the same measure. They're going to have the same fingerings, but they're going to have two different notes like this. On the keyboard, this is what it looks like on the keyboard. Okay? So we have all the white notes down here are natural. So this is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. This is all our natural notes. The black notes up here, these are our sharps and flats. Okay, so if I want, this is A. If I want to make it sharp, A sharp's right here. If I want to play A flat, I'm going to go down. This is my G. If I want to play a G sharp, I go up. If I want to play G flat, I go down. Okay, so that's how the notes work in our fingering chart, in case you were getting a little bit confused by the sharps and the flats. Okay, we're going to bop our note names. This is for baritone and tuba. So this is a baritone book. Tuba, your notes will be much lower, but I'm using this book because we have the same note names and we're going to have the same buttons to push. So you follow along in your book if you're a tuba player, but you can still do this with us. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to say our note names. We're going to bop the notes. So you don't need to press any buttons. We're just worrying about note names. On the way up, we're going to say sharps. And on the way down, we're going to say flats, except for the very first note. The very first note, we will start on B flat. So say this with me. 1, 2, ready, and go. B flat. B. C. C sharp. D. D sharp. E. F. F sharp. G. G sharp. A. A sharp. Repeat. B flat. Come down. A. A flat. G. G flat. F. E. E flat. D. D flat. C. B. B flat. And stop. All right, now we're going to add our fingers. We're going to press our buttons. So your instrument, put it in your hand so you can practice pressing your buttons while we do this. Where some of your notes have more than one choice. So if you have a 3-valve baritone or a 3-valve tuba, you're going to follow the top fingering. If you have 4 valves, you would follow the bottom fingering. Okay, so 3 valves, 4 valves. It depends on what instrument you're using. Okay, so we're going to say our note names and press our buttons. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and go. B flat. B. C. C sharp. D. D sharp. E. E F. F sharp. G. G sharp. A. A sharp. Repeat. B flat. A. A flat. G. G flat. F. E. E flat. D. D flat. C. B. B flat. And done. Okay guys, now we're going to play our scale in whole notes. Okay, make sure that you're using lots of air, supporting, filling up your horn. 1, 2, ready. That's your chromatic scale. Now, if you're not ready to play it the way I did without stopping, you can always go back and play one note, rest for 4. Then the next note, rest for 4. Next note, rest for 4. You can also slow the metronome down. My metronome is at 80, but if you need to go slower, you're welcome to slow your metronome down. I hope this video helped you guys out. I know this can be a little bit confusing doing the chromatic scale, but it's a super useful scale because it teaches you all the notes on your instrument, and it introduces sharps and flats and naturals to you. If you've mastered your chromatic scale and you can play it perfectly, go ahead and start playing it in half notes and then in quarter notes. And also an extra challenge, if you're up for it, in your Rhythm Master book, it's written out for you. So if you go to page 31 in your book, and you'll see right here it says B flat concert chromatic scale. And now it's written out in quarter notes for you. And you can practice reading them from the book. In the percussion book, it's on page 61. So it's right here. So if you want to challenge yourself to play it without looking at your fingering chart, you can do that. But if you need to look at your fingering chart, that is completely fine right now. Okay, I hope this video helps, and I look forward to hearing you play.